Hello, and welcome to my presentation of my scope of work on the doors and frames of the Naval Air Facility. Throughout this presentation, I'm going to go into detail of what my scope of work entails, some materials and tools that are necessary to make this thing happen, the steps in order to install the doors and frames, some cost estimates, as well as some exclusions and things I will not be doing on this project. So the scope of work for this project is pretty simple. What I will be doing is installing 19 total doors and frames. 13 of those doors are going to be solid wood, 5 of them will be hollow metal, and 1 of them will be metal clad. The installation time per door is around 45 minutes or so, which equates to 15 hours or 2 work days. The cost for installation estimates to be around $3,482.06. In order for this project to happen even at all, I need the necessary tools and materials to help me install these doors. Some of those tools include a level to make sure that the door is hung on straight and the frame is hung on in a proper manner. Tape measure to measure the width of the frame itself and make sure that there's enough space for the door to be installed. Caulking in order to make sure that the door sticks properly to the framework. Phillips screwdriver speaks for itself, screwing in nails and making sure that they are tightly embedded. Drill and bits for nails that can't be necessarily screwed in. A hammer, obviously to hammer in nails, plain and simple. And the different types of nails that I need. 16D finishing nails and screws as well. So now that you have a background information of what this project needs in order to run properly, I'm going to go over the steps of installation of all the doors and frames on this naval project. So first and foremost, what you want to do is remove any existing doors and frames that are already existing on the project. This is so that you can install the new ones, and I don't think that this naval project has any doors and frames that are going to need to be removed, but this just makes your job a lot easier because you're starting fresh and you're going to have new doors and you don't want any existing or like old work getting in your way. So once you've done that, you want to trim the door openings, make them smooth, make them easy for the door frame to slide in and out, make it easy for the door to slide in and out. You don't want any rough edges, you don't want anything creating any unnecessary wear or tear. Next, you want to check the level of the floor, because the level of the floor is going to affect how the door opens and closes, and you want to be aware of that when you're installing so you can plan of how to alleviate that problem. After that, you want to determine the location for the shims, and the shims are basically pieces of plastic or tiny pieces of plastic that are going to allow for proper alignment of the door and keeps the door, again, from wear and tear. It's just one of those necessary things that keeps the door from wear and tear and allows you to open and close the door a little more easily. Next, you want to cut the door. Make the proper measure to make sure that it will be able to fit properly within the frame, within the given frame. And then finally, remove the packing materials of that door. Once you've done, or you want to keep the door in the most pristine condition possible before taking it out of the package. The whole point of this is we want to avoid as much wear and tear as possible, because installing doors is going to naturally cause wear and tear. But the less that there is, the better that it is for the project, and the better it is for the owner. So after you've completed the previous steps, you want to move on to these next couple of steps, because these are more like the finishing touches of how the door is going to eventually turn out. So once you've done those previous steps, you want to attach the shim to the doorway, making sure that it is firmly attached in the appropriate positions, because what the shim does, as I said before, protects from unnecessary wear and tear. And if the shim is not placed in the right positions or firmly attached, it's going to end up causing more damage than good. Next, you want to place the door into position, making sure that it fits properly, that there's no overlapping edges, making sure that it'll be able to open and close easily if securely fastened within the framework. Next, you want to secure the jab or the surface side post of the door, making sure that it's a smooth fit. It's kind of like goes into with placing the door into position. You want to secure the jab, making sure that it is a smooth fit within the door frame, and making sure that it is an easy transition into installation. Next, you want to check and adjust the door openings. All these steps kind of run into or feed off of each other. All about just making sure that the door is going to fit, that it's just smooth sailing, that there's nothing that's going to prevent the door from being able to work properly, or, like I said, create unnecessary wear or tear if it can be avoided. So once you've made sure that the door is firmly placed within the frame, it's going to fit, it looks nice, it's ready to go, you want to start nailing the door into place. Putting the nails in the specific location so that it can be firm, stable, and it doesn't hinder the door being able to open and close. Once you've nailed them into place, to avoid all the holes that those nails will cause, you fill them in. Fill them in with caulking, fill them in with something to make it more aesthetically pleasing. That's the whole point of this step, to make the door more aesthetically pleasing so that they don't see all the holes of where the nails are at. And last, you want to open and close the door to check for smoothness. That's the whole point of this, making sure that the door works properly, making sure that it opens and closes, no squeaking noises, no rough transitions between opening and closing. You want it to open up and close in a smooth, easy manner. So now that everybody has an idea of how I'm going to go about completing this project, I'm going to give you guys some ideas about the things that I will not be responsible for when I am installing these doors. First thing, touch-up paint. Installation is going to cause a little bit of wear and tear on the walls. It's going to mess up the paint as well. That's outside of my scope of work. That's not something that I'm responsible for. I'm responsible for getting the door in and out of the frame. So any damage to paint, any slight damages to the wall is not my job to fix. That's up to the painter, that's up to the exterior finisher, but not up to me. So any veneer finishes on the door also falls out of my realm of scope. And by that I mean the door comes as it comes. I put it in the frame, I put it in the wall, and that's it. If the owner wants to change the color, if the owner wants to add something special to the door, that's on him, and he can hire somebody else to do that, but that is not something that falls within my realm of work. And I'm not responsible for any touch-up paint to the door or any kind of veneer finishes to the door as well. Also, if the frame does not allow the door to hang or swing properly, that also is not something that I personally need to fix. And by the frame, I mean if the wall space provided is not the proper length, width, or height for the door frame to fit in easily. So if that were to happen, that'd be up for the owner or the contractor involved to get somebody out there and fix the situation at hand and get the width of the door to a proper size so that I can put my frame in, and not have to worry about any problems with the door not being able to open or close properly due to the fact that there's not enough space on the framework. So at the end of the day, this is a very simple project. Like I said before, to reiterate what I'm going to be doing on this project is installing 19 doors and frames on a air facility, 13 of which will be solid wood, 5 of which will be hollow metal, and 1 will be metal clad. It's going to take approximately 45 minutes or so to install each of these doors, which equates to a total of 15 hours or 2 work days. And the total cost price that we're estimating around installing labor and all that other stuff for this project will be around $3,000. So I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch my scope of work video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned about a little more about what I will be doing on this project. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can find me in CM116, room 387, on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 to 10. Thank you very much.